Thank you for this. More than my dad gave me. Well, no, it's exactly what my dad gave me on my birthday.
Well, I'd give you more, but I'm stressing out about shit right now.
I know.
Cannot give it.
I think I gotta get close to you.
Yeah, sure.
Ah! You good? You need another pen? Oh, I think it's working.
I'm good.
Alright. Actually, you give her like 2 inches.
What?
You give her about 2 inches. No!
At the center spot, Shane. Just
No, I got...
take it. Take the center stage. I don't give a fuck.
I know, I just need it to be evenly spaced. So if you're there, I gotta be here.
Sure. I'm here.
Because usually I have to zoom in and then move, and then sometimes that thing is like behind one of our heads.
Okay.
I hate it. Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back with the Boba Fett. I'm Shane.
Zakk.
I said the Boba Fett. The
You
book
did.
of Boba Fett. His
did.
book. They need to come out
That's
with a
kind
book.
of an odd name.
They should have been the lullaby of Boba Fett.
Was this the book of Boba
the-
Fett? It's like, what?
What about the video game? Why not
Is
that?
it really going to be a book? Because books are pretty long.
Or it's like chapter 1, chapter 2.
So it was like 6 episodes?
I don't know. But that's a short book.
That's pretty fucking short
Unless the
book.
chapters are real
Real dense
Real
in
dense.
detail.
If you join us for the first time, like I've always really preferred Jedi and Sith and that conflict and all that stuff and lightsaber fights. Never cared for stormtroopers, clone troopers, Mandalorians, and then they tried to prove me wrong in the Clone Wars. They didn't get me, and they proved me wrong with the Mandalorian. And I ended up that Boba Fett Robert Rodriguez episode. It was his dream. He did it, and it was the greatest thing ever. He's also executive producing the show, and he's got a lot of say in the episodes. So.
Well, I know what like my oldest daughter was asking about this show.
Yeah.
And I told her, like, you know, I don't think it's as good as The Mandalorian, but we're only an episode in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that first episode.
it's still really good. It's better than, in my opinion, a lot of other Star Wars titles.
Yeah.
So it's still great.
Yeah,
And I
it's-
like Tamara Morrison anyway.
Yeah,
so-
he's cool. And just so last time we had a flashback, and we also had the current timeline, which is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. He killed Bib Fortuna. I'm in charge now, and he went around walking on his own 2 feet.
But he wants to rule in a completely different manner than what these people have been used to with the Hutts.
Yeah, and it felt very
dynasty.
passive aggressive. Everyone's like, okay, well, you do that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean that chick who is an actress I don't know.
Yeah, the
Gave-
Twi'lek.
Yeah, gave him tribute. Everyone was giving tribute, except the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor's being a douche.
Yeah.
But the mayor's, you know, maybe a lot of people see Boba Fett and people like him and the Hutts as douches too. So
Yeah. And then we had the flashback with the Tuscans.
they found him
Yeah,
out there outside the Sarlacc pit.
very iconic with Star Wars to most people because they were the first kind of antagonist ever in Star Wars. I guess, no, you see Vader first, actually. But you don't really know what he is or who he is. But to Luke, the Tuscans are just these crazy-ass fucking people looting and raping and killing, you know what I mean?
Well, you don't know anything about raping, but
Yeah, you're
They're
right. I
definitely-
put that in for what I know about later, but...
I know, but they're just like crazy assholes.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch. They're a threat in the desert, just like Jawas or fuckers that
Yeah.
just steal shit.
Did you know that
So-
Luke Skywalker, when he's dodging the gaffy stick, the guy who was wearing the mask couldn't see shit. So, like, when they rehearsed it, he hit him a couple times. So Luke, that look of fear was real.
Probably.
So he was just like, you know what I mean?
The only tribute I
This
bear
fucking guy.
is
So I looked him up. He's like a kind of a famous comedian that they're friends with. He's got, he knows.
respect.
He knows. He's just this weird voice.
Speak, prisoner. Well, if he's not gonna speak, he no longer needs his head. We spared your life after you tried to take mine, and you curse me. What do we know of this prisoner?
He is of the Order of the Night Wind. Very expensive.
Overpriced. You're paying for the name.
Their reputation is legendary. There is no way he will talk. They fear no man.
Fine.
You figured a gun for hire, but I guess it's an
Here's the
order,
Rancor.
right? So. We have another Rancor?
I will take
Humanity! Assassin of the Night Wind. Shall we visit the mayor?
Didn't we kind of surmise that the mayor probably sent them in the last episode?
You kind of did, and I was thinking maybe that Twi'lek girl who gave the money. But is the mayor.
Fucking mayor.
So Tatooine has actually flourished under the Hutts, kind of a little bit.
Yeah, either way, you have economic growth. It's just he wants to be the one on top.
Yeah. Those assholes. Not falling behind now, fatty.
I'm here to see the mayor.
Boba Fett. Well, I don't see your name in the schedule, so you'll have to...
Pardon the lack of pomp for your entrance. However, I did not see your litter arrive. Nevertheless, we are both honored and delighted by your serendipitous visit. Sir, if you would be so kind as to... Apologies for the intrusion. Terribly sorry, Your Eminence.
Who is this who enters unannounced?
You know damn well who.
It is the new daimyo Boba Fett, Your Excellence.
If you do not know who I am, then why did you send this man to assassinate me?
I can assure you, the mayor had nothing.
He's a member of the Order of the Night Wind.
Ah, then you admit it.
Give this man his reward.
I am not a bounty hunter.
Is that so? I've heard otherwise. I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Bib Fortuna was not my employer.
It was Jabba the Hutt's throne.
Yes, and now it is mine. And I will take this payment as what you should have brought me as tribute.
Who really sent the Night Wind? I have no motive. As you said, I serve at your pleasure.
I am not a fool, Mokshais. And those who thought otherwise no longer draw breath.
Here's the tribute I offer. Some advice. Running a family is more complicated than bounty hunting.
Is that it?
Looks like it's painful from the top sometimes.
Weird.
He's like, oh.
He's like it's fucking the head.
Yeah.
Ah, what a surprise. Thank you for the honor of your patronage, Mr. Fett. Please have a seat at the bar, and I'll see if I can free up a table for you. Would you care to have a beverage while I sort this out?
Mayor Mokshai sent me here as though there's something I should know. Now you're sweating like a Gamton Mustafa.
You haven't heard. The twins have laid claim to their late cousin's bequest.
Twins are preoccupied with the debauchery of Hatta. To bother with any ambitions on Tatooine.
You could like fire a rocket right now.
God,
And blow those fucking slugs up.
I don't think there's any way they can hold those guys, do you?
Hell no. Especially not in the middle. But they have one on the edges mostly.
Yes, motherfucker, deep.
The Espar Kajikik Dujaba Ankabes Chiji
I am daimyo here.
Ulama.
Hey! He's from a comic book.
It's gotta be so fucking hot for a Wookiee.
You can bring as many. These are not the deathbeds of Dur, and I am not a sleeping Trandoshan god.
Who the fuck are you fooling trying to talk behind that fan?
Dako Sama Sisa. Daimindia. Kilia Uba.
Cousin Jabba is dead. His cowardly majordomo usurped his territory, and then I killed him. All that is his belongs to me now. Your sister is right. If you want it, you'll have to kill me for it.
Shesko Morishani.
It's like Krazik Black or something. His name is something Black. He's a pretty badass bounty hunter. I think he works with Boba Fett at one time.
They're huts. We would have to get permission if you want to kill them.
It's always interesting in gang movies when you gotta get permission.
Yeah, but like they're slugs. Like how in the fuck did slugs get on the top tier of any of this? Because not only they can move around, like take anybody out. So how did they get there?
Like from an
Like
evolutionary
somebody
standpoint.
literally just listened to good ideas at one point. Like they had a bunch of good ideas, and someone literally stopped and listened to them for once.
It kind of reminds me of in Mass Effect. There's the Krogan.
Yeah, but those motherfuckers, from what you described and what I've seen, are much more badass. They're like Triceratons.
I guess they are, but they were given all this technology early, and it made them.
Yeah, but the huts are just fucking slugs. They don't produce anything. They don't show any idea.
Oh, it's like you said.
I know. I told you. Last Samurai.
I am holding it the same.
Someone scratches stuff like a dog.
Like rednecks in the desert.
Yeah. These fucking assholes. Remember the Phantom Menace? It's like their thing.
There you go. Jeez.
Why you just... Huh. She's kind of wrapped how Shmi was wrapped.
I will stop the train. I will stop them. I will take rifle and stick. Be back by morning.
I mean, he was bounty hunter for years, like the best in the galaxy. It looks like Tachi Station. I think this is Tachi Station.
I said it's not right.
I need some power converters.
I love it's like a fucking rifle club. Like in Last of the fucking Mohegans.
Yeah.
Man, you're broke.
Jesus.
Oh, look.
It's an intense look, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A gift for you.
Whoa, stop! No! No! These are mine! Stop! These are mine! I will teach you how to ride. Like a banter. Yes? Maybe not. Okay, who wants to go first?
We literally called this in the first episode, like.
Last samurai level shit.
Finally, been here all day.
It's like an old west thing.
It really is. It is like that, dude. It's real cool.
Just open the door and someone keeps kicking you.
With a stick.
What the fuck?
They're the Pikes.
Engineer. That droid's probably my favorite droid of this series.
He's pretty cool looking.
Stop the train!
We can jump ship.
Voodoo! What a noble cause. Pikes, man. Nice sound. Never seen her face.
Are you going to kill us?
It depends on how you answer what I'm about to ask. Are you carrying spice?
What do you
Dune!
mean, spice?
Sansana spice from the slave mines of Kessel.
What does spice look like?
They're spice dudes.
Like that.
Oh!
This is not looking good for you.
We thought you were uncivilized raiders. We were trying to protect our route.
These sands are no longer free for you to pass. These people lay ancestral claim to the Dune Sea. And if you are to pass, a toll is to be paid to them. Any death dealt from the passing freighters will be returned tenfold. Now go back to your syndicate and present these terms. Your lives are a gesture of our civility. Now walk. Single file, in the direction of the high sun. We'll lead you to Anchorhead by sunset if you leave now.
But we'll be killed.
You now travel under the protection of the Tuscans. No harm will come of you.
We'll die of thirst without our water car.
We will give you each a black melon. We'll survive on its milk, as these people do. Now go.
He's like a
You're wasting
dump
it.
in the fucking.
You're wasting it, though.
Oh.
It's like fucking, it's like the second greatest action movie I saw in my life. What is it, Mad Max? The most recent one?
Yeah. Fury Road.
Oh, dude, that is unbelievable.
What is it? I will let it guide me.
Jesus!
I don't want that gift! Fuck!
I'm sorry. I think I swallowed it. It's a tricky little bugger.
I've heard about certain native peoples, like Aboriginal peoples, doing things like this.
Yeah.
Tripping out on shit. Like shamans and things.
Okay.
To have that enlightened experience.
I've seen a little bit of that as well.
Which is fine and it's cool and it might enlighten you to a lot more that is
Yeah.
less dull. this life is offered.
New shot. Okay.
It's just funny that it's black though.
Yeah.
Make his own gaffy stick.
Yeah.
Fire hardening it.
Yeah, I was wondering because why it's wood, but it's more complex than that. Half of this is a New Zealand thing.
It's great.
Crazy look on his face.
There it was. Here it is. What'd you think?
I liked it more than the first episode, and I liked the first episode a lot.
Yeah, I didn't dislike the first episode. I think this episode carries on the same tone. It's a very solemn show in comparison to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Definitely has the old west and tribal feel, which is fine.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
So don't take that and run with it. But
you've seen more westerns than me. I've seen the big heavy hitters, and it was later in life. Did any iconography, remind you of I've never seen anything in my life like a train heist except 310 to Yuma. It's not really a heist.
I didn't watch a lot of the John Wayne
Yeah.
westerns. I watched a lot of Clint Eastwood westerns. My grandpa didn't like John Wayne, which is funny because he's more like John Wayne than he is Clint Eastwood. But he did not like John Wayne, so we didn't watch that many of them growing up. But we watched a lot of like Trinity and the Man with No Name series and
Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, that's part of the Man with No Name series.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood, like Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those movies, the Sergio Leone movies, all like the spaghetti westerns in the sense like he was kind of the titular point of that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of influence from westerns, especially like George like westerns. He incorporated that a little bit, especially.
They're an American genre.
Yeah, and they made a comeback.
Struck out.
Yeah,
and always has a lasting influence. They're a staple. They're something that's classic. That is, kind of our thing.
Yeah,
that's what we gave to the world in a sense in terms of entertainment.
Yeah,
and the ethos of what America is.
No, yeah.
Because, with Europe, that all kind of culminates with Tolkien. Like you have the old fairy tale and fantasy epic, which started in Europe. And you have all of the traditions that started in the East. Mm-hmm. Mongolia, China, Japan, those countries have rich histories that have offered a lot that, are beautiful in terms of entertainment. Japan's entertainment industry is like kind of the premier, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like the stuff in the present day setting, and I guess these guys are producing this well enough and my Star Wars well enough to know that, I'm pretty sure they're going to build up to be a badass thing, because I don't think Boba Fett's going to be no punk and get like kicked out by the Hutts. You know
I
what
doubt
mean?
it.
I think he's going to show everyone that. I don't know if his rule with respect thing will work, but I imagine he will get his way.
Well, it's like he'll get his way with whatever he's trying to accomplish here. Like, we ultimately don't know yet what he's trying to accomplish, right?
Maybe he just wants to be a crime lord and retire.
Maybe, but I feel like if there's no overarching theme of what he's trying to do,
Yeah.
then to me he needs to come out on top in such a badass way.
No, I agree.
It's either that or there's something more to the story. So he's going
Something
to
to
come
throw
out
on.
at the end like a complete fucking total badass. Like total badass. Not like he's struggling in the end
Yeah.
and just barely wins. He just needs to come out like a total badass.
No, I agree.
Or there's more to the story.
No, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, so the mayor was the Ithorian. Probably didn't send the Night Wind.
Oh no, he seems like a legitimately wise guy.
Yeah.
Not a wise guy, but
Yeah.
a legitimate wise guy. He seems like he's like, hey, go. If you're gonna do this, then you should honestly think about who sent these people. I have no reason to.
Yeah, the idea of like, hey, listen, this is harder shit than being a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Running a family, which also is like another kind of American.
Mafioso.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Makshai's. I wrote phonetically. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the Ithorian. Which Ithorian looked good too.
Talking about the mayor.
Yeah. Of course, we had the twins, but presumably the past few years there was some kind of civil war that was keeping the Hutts from claiming Jabba's throne.
How do those fuckers have a civil war? What do they have a civil war with?
They're just
Like the Ents? Like slowly moving towards each other?
You're right, and that's probably why we don't see it a lot. But they're a warring race. They discovered hyperspace before other people. But there's like in science fiction, sometimes ignores this if it's this because it's science fiction fantasy. Lots of times, if they discovered something first,
I get it.
they would be like a nicer, more civilized culture. So, but they seem it's like the Tuscans have been here for so long. Then why haven't they advanced?
Well, the Tuscans seem like they're ripped straight out of Dune. And like they're the people that live on that fucking planet on Dune.
Okay.
Living in the fucking sand.
Well, George loved Dune. He even used spice.
There you go.
Which is like the drug.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not just a drug, it's a fuel source.
I don't know. I don't think it is in this, but,
Okay, but
Dune, yeah.
And Dune, it is. That's why the Empire wants it.
Okay.
But it's also, it's in the atmosphere everywhere you are.
Yeah.
So if you live on that fucking planet, you're inhaling it and it affects you. It's like breathing in diesel vapor all day, I guess. So I'm breathing in diesel fumes. Yeah, I'm going to get lightheaded and I'm going to feel fucked up all day. So, oh man.
Well, it made me think of that great scene in Arcane where, a certain villain comes in who's very used to the fumes and has to remind everyone, hey, listen, we're in a good spot here. Be thankful. Yeah.
But that's the point. So you can see the influence, and that's fine because with the shit that I produce as an artist, I kind of nakedly display my influences.
Okay.
It's like, I really like this stuff, and I really want to be. I allow myself to be influenced by it, so it's fine. But
yeah.
The only other note I wrote down was the fucking train engineer droid. I was
Yeah.
pretty impressed with him when he was in the cockpit. When he was out of it and I crawled through the sand, it was funny, but he didn't look as good.
Yeah.
So I get that there's probably some expedience there to make him move a little bit faster.
You have seen Rogue One and you have seen Solo. So the Pikes, they run the spice trade. They're like a gang. They're like a mafia gangster.
Those shitty little spike-faced motherfuckers.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever saw their face, but they're also in the Bad Batch, and they're prominent in that. They're really badass too. Because they're badass, and I see this, it's weird to see them not subjugated, but it's weird to see them on their knees.
On the losing end.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of Westerns, but I imagine that part where Boba Fett is saying, like, this is giving them the terms, like, this is now you're under the protection of the Tuscans.
You could say it's like Native American and like, The Last of the Mohicans or whatever. I haven't seen that movie in a while, or Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Those are kind of two very stereotypical movies that deal with Native Americans and their way of life, but they have a system.
Yeah.
So there's a system there that it's like, you've been ignoring this for a while, now you're under their protection.
Yeah. Oh, it was cool. Like, so I feel...
But it goes back to his idea of ruling with respect.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if that's like foreshadowing, like, okay, listen, like you go and you prove yourself, you can do that. And then the people who you're ruling are going to fight for you instead of being afraid.
It's definitely the long game.
It's a little slow.
Very slow.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the desert. He was obviously with these people for a few years because it was just a 5-year gap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and but like I said, I think he wasn't chasing his armor at that point. He's trying to find himself.
Trying to survive and,
yeah.
you know, put himself back together.
Yeah.
I mean, the life, they made it sound like he viewed himself as kind of shittily.
Yeah, it's like he was in the shadow of his dad. His dad trained him to be a bounty hunter. It's almost like that's what he was going to do. He didn't have an identity because he's a clone.
Yeah.
So, but now he's got an identity, I guess. Or maybe I'm pulling too much, but I kind of felt that way with the.
Well, the way I looked at it, which is at least with how he explained it in this episode now, and I cannot remember the quote at all.
Yeah.
But he made it sound like he was given a second chance being what he was, and he did not view himself very well.
Yeah. You know, I
don't remember the term he used now for himself, but it wasn't a good one.
Okay.
And it wasn't one that could be like ambiguous. Like, well, maybe he meant something good.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm pretty sure he meant that, you know, he sucked.
Yeah, he might have been like he's turning over a new leaf. Like you said in the last episode, maybe trying to redeem his character a little bit.
I think people just want to do that.
But he also
like,
walked in by killing a guy.
Especially with this kind of a universe where it's kind of open to interpretation more so than like franchises like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's like a closed deal.
Yeah,
with Tolkien,
there was one vision.
Yeah, but
one writer.
Except now you have people like adding games and stuff to it and trying to add a little bit to it.
Did you play Shadows?
They are picking at it.
Yeah. Did you play Shadows of Mordor?
No, because I'm a purist
when
it comes to Tolkien. With Tolkien, I'm a purist. A lot of other things I can give and take. With Tolkien, no.
I can respect that.
No, because that one man wrote that one thing, and he was a genius at what he did, and he was good at what he did, and that's why it was so good.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with it. Don't bring your little fucking geeky theories into it and make it into some fucking whatever the fuck you want to make it. Just don't do it. It's good. Leave it alone.
I can respect that.
With Star Wars, I get that it's expanding, ever expanding universe,
and other people,
and good things have come from other people, like Thrawn.
Yeah,
Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, he was great.
There have been great additions to this, and there have been bad additions too.
Yeah,
but with that big of a universe and that open of an area to play with, it goes to show
good and bad. You have ups and downs. Yeah. For me, I think what's really cool about what they have done is they brought in little Easter eggs, and if you don't know and you haven't read there's an archaeologist actually that kind of works with Vader, but she's like brilliant, and she has had run-ins with Vader, and then the comic ended with Vader killing her, having her killed, but she actually ended up living, and now she has her own series. But the Wookiee, the black one, it's something Kashyyyk Black or something. It's not Kashyyyk. It's something black.
Because Kashyyyk is a planet.
Yeah, it's something black, and he is like a badass. And I'm pretty sure he was in like the new Marvel Star Wars, like the Star Wars comics, not just like the spin-off comics. Mm-hmm. But he's well loved. He looked cool as hell. I like that black fur. He's a badass, and he's worked with Boba, but now he's working with the Hutts, which
he's probably working where the money is.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Boba did too as well. So I don't know if we'll see him again, but I imagine we will. They fucking brought him in. They built that costume.
It made an intense moment.
Yeah, and he looked good in like the face. Like it was really intense. Like it wasn't like it doesn't look like a Wookiee. It looked like a Wookiee that was angry. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
You know that bland Chewbacca look.
Yeah.
Where he's always just like a vacant expression.
Yeah, I think
sometimes goes. Argh!
Yeah.
So this thing actually had an expression in its eyes. I get it.
Yeah. The flashback, I loved. The present day story is still developing. I like it. And
I liked a lot of shit with the Tusken Raiders. There's been a bad taste in my mouth ever since the shit with Shmi. But I get that there are different tribes, the Tuskens.
Yeah. Like they're not all...
It's just like the Native Americans and everything else. Like in a lot of American films.
Yeah.
They do showcase that they were different tribes. Just like there were different settlements of whites in America.
Yeah.
Like the Pennsylvania settlement.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's William Penn.
Yeah,
I don't remember the names. I don't remember that shit in detail, but pretty sure like he was the one that was well known for like actually trading fairly.
Yeah.
With Native Americans.
Yeah.
And being a decent person.
Yeah.
As opposed to these other assholes that were like killing and stealing.
Yeah. I remember Clint Eastwood. I think he was the one who at one time he said like
he said that he would never play in a movie where he'd be like against the Native American,
or he would make them look stupid or uncivilized.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah,
that's a great classic American fucking western.
Yeah,
but he kind of goes head to head, and I can't remember the name of the Indian chief now, the Native American chief, but they are trying to get the settlement set up, and these Native Americans just ride in like, motherfuckers, we're gonna kill all of you. And he's like, no, wait. He rides out, and they respect him. He's like a Confederate deserter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
I should say. He's like a reb.
Yeah.
After the fact,
Okay.
that didn't surrender to the Union.
Okay.
Because some Union assholes like murdered his family.
Yeah.
So he's like,
I'm sure that probably happened too.
yeah. So he's like the guy that never surrendered.
Yeah.
So he's like Comanche.
Yeah.
Like hell or high water.
Dude, I love that.
And he's like
Lord of the Plains.
Yeah. So he's a guy now that's just.
I love that movie.
He hates these people in the Union, like the them organized government or whoever, but he kind of finds some common spirit
with them
because they're not going to surrender either.
That's some of the coolest things.
There's iron in your words.
Yeah.
You may pass. You may live. So there's a mutual respect there.
Yeah.
It's cool. And
this is probably borrowing from things like that.
And I like that because I like the idea that there's some idea of the Tusken Raiders. They're not all just these shitty assholes.
Yeah.
With rifles, they're picking people off randomly.
Yeah.
But like Jawas, they seem like they're pretty much what you see is what you get.
Maybe one day we play if Boba got caught by them and had like a similar story. Hey!
Like Ewoks.
Yeah.
Ewoks are all
some people
kinds of
forget how, because there's some funny moments in this. Some people forget how funny like episode 4 was. And some, I mean 5 and 6 there's a lot of funny moments.
What are you trying to pull?
Yeah.
Fucking Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean 6 they had the Ewoks. They were funny, but they weren't at the time. They were pretty critically looked down on.
Yeah.
The Star Wars should be funny, and there's some funny stuff in this. But it was also like you said, it had that crap. I mean, I was citing The Last Samurai because that's one of my favorite things.
Well, yeah,
but that's an older.
We called that in the last episode.
Yeah, yeah. And I love those stories. The guy with the dreadlocks looks like the fucking Predator. Like the fact that okay, now you're one of us. Like I
love his gaffy stick. His gaffy stick looks badass.
Well, the fact that he forged it and just
we had a hand in forging it.
Yeah. But I like that he's like Tamara Morrison just blowing up fucking wood out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I met your daddy. Look at that.
He loved that shit.
Yeah.
You're like,
He said like
he probably think to himself,
blew that out.
He probably think to himself that he could make it, but he never would because of what it is.
But yeah. Well, and there's metal work involved. I don't know if your dad can do that too, but
my dad's a welder.
Oh.
Fabricator, welder. He does that shit for a living.
I thought welder is like you put metal things together. You don't shape it though, really.
That's literally what you do when you fucking.
I thought those are different guys, and the weld guys like, hey, come on in. You know what's interesting about?
No, like the blacksmith days back in like Lord of the Rings times, where like they had to forge that fucking metal rod out of rock.
Yeah.
Like they had to get the ore out of the rock, and they had to forge the thing out of the ore out of the rock.
Oh, cool, but it's hard.
Well, yeah, it is. That's why the blacksmiths were always like uneducated but tough as hell.
Yeah, but what that
trade
is,
they literally like just stood there swinging a hammer.
You have to, but you got to be a master at that trade.
Well, you do, because like anyone of their trades back then, you were like the guy.
Like you got to think of a pencil. Like I could not make a pencil.
No, you couldn't.
But like, there's probably people who could that are way like, they might not have like a formal education, but fucking.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say that back then, it was a lot more honed. Like you had one guy. That guy's a blade master.
Yeah.
That's what he does. This guy's a farrier. He makes horseshoes. Maybe he doesn't make that great of knives and swords.
So that's what's funny is the human race has had the benefit of standing on the shoulders of like a lot of these people who are smarter and created these things. Like, Andrew Carnegie, all these other people were actually smart.
Oh, yeah.
And then like we have the iPhones, we zip around in these cars like Gundams.
I do think it's kind of funny. Like I think sometimes I
can't make this shit.
Sometimes I stop and think to myself, like, just think about the idea of a person just driving down the road in this metal box.
Yeah.
With wheels.
Zipping around, and worrying about shit.
And how stupid it is. Yeah. It's stupid. It is literally I feel like it's a stupid idea. Like you're just this.
And you work on them.
I know. I work on machinery. It's a little different.
Okay.
But I don't zip down the road. Those things don't move very fast. But
well, you're also a mechanic. You can just work on cars.
Yeah, but the idea though is just I guess it's like a reflection of us as a species.
Yeah.
Like we're these goofballs.
Yeah.
That zip around in these little metal cars and talking on our phones and having a good time.
Like
meanwhile, like 5 feet away in the woods at that moment when you're driving by is probably like a coyote fucking viciously killing a rabbit
to live
or something to live.
Yeah, so
it's like there's a big separation. between what we are
Go
and literally what we are.
Yeah. It's just like
our nature and our intellect.
And I feel like Boba, he was raised on Camino. And he was...
Well, that's the idea, though.
And he connects with nature now, with these guys.
Well, what's interesting is like you have a sea of water.
Yeah.
On Camino.
Yeah.
And like a sea of fucking dune sea.
Yeah.
Sand.
Yeah.
Both places are very bleak and bland. Mm-hmm. There's no variety.
Yeah.
On either place.
And I love, like, that, like you said, kind of haunts him a little bit, some of that stuff. Like, you see, like, the waves. Like, when you go to the tree, there were waves around it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, yeah. Like, I loved it. I love the conversation it could spawn. It's just like he's connecting with, like... Because he was a bounty hunter, and yes, he was rugged with all this stuff, but he was a product of science, and now he's connecting with these indigenous people. And, you know, I love it. He came in and became one of them. It was just the coolest thing. He made
it's definitely a cool way to explain his outfit.
Yeah, it is. And he was sitting there like, it was just the coolest fucking thing, you know what I mean? Some people might think it's, I loved it, dude. Like
Why did you, in the film, in terms of film history, he didn't have any fucking history.
Yeah.
In the previous films. You know him as a kid in one film, and you know him as just some kind of relatively, in the films at least, nameless bounty hunter.
Yeah. That's
just there and says a few things to Vader.
Yeah.
And then he gets fucking launched into a Sarlacc pit by the blind man.
Yeah.
And so he didn't have much.
What's funny is George always talked about, like, yeah, he just took a life on his own. Like, because his production team, all his guys, like, oh, he's like the coolest guy, George. Yeah. He came in, his first appearance, you know what was in? Star Wars Holiday.
The holiday special. He was supposed to be like his outfit was originally designed by McQuarrie as like an ultimate stormtrooper.
Yeah, and it was too expensive or something.
Yeah, so he just became this bounty.
They just spray painted him and shit, and all right, he's something else. No, yeah. So I imagine we'll get less of the flashbacks now. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to see what's going on, what they're going to do.
Well, now that we have that vision with that goddamn lizard.
Well, he's like, yeah, and honestly, like he's one of my favorite characters now. I feel like he's great. You know?
Lizard.
No, Boba Fett. But yeah, that lizard freaked me out. I'd be like, no, wait,
the thing that crawling up your fucking nose.
Well, in like for him to maintain,
like him saying, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I think I swallowed it." Like it probably went down into his gut.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he would know enough to know that he.
Yeah.
Like how to know where it went.
For him to maintain that level,
brain,
yeah,
that it would have been. So it must have been something on like the lizard's skin or something that makes you hallucinate like that.
Yeah.
So.
Such an uncivilized way to hallucinate, to get high.
It's something else.
One more thing. I think that was Tachi Station. Really nice little, like, another Western type thing. They came in and kicked some ass. And then he just stole the bikes. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but, like, so in episode 4, there is a deleted scene where Luke's at Tachi Station with his friends, and he's fucking talking to, you know, and you look up in the sky, you actually see the explosions from everything going on over the planet with Leia and Vader. But they cut it out. It was there, but I thought it was more of like a convenience store. It looked like a bar, so I could be wrong.
It might have a little bit of everything.
It might, yeah. Nothing else, that's it.
That's a very enjoyable show.
Yes.
So, there you go. Thank you personally, for tuning in. If you like what we do here, like and subscribe. We're also on Instagram. We're also on Twitter. We're nowhere else, so if you didn't like us, you don't have to worry about running into us again. So, if you don't want to...
We go here, you go to work, I go to work on editing this, and that's it.
Exactly.